Hey, welcome to the Dollar Compass Academy. So today I'm going to share with you 3 self-mastery habits for dealing with difficult conversations. Yes, unfortunately, difficult conversations are what we all have to deal with from time to time. Sometimes once a day, sometimes 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day. Hopefully, sometimes 0 times a day, right? That would be great, you know? The problem with difficult conversations is that they can easily lead to emotional tension, frustrations, anger, and stress. The other danger is that difficult and challenging conversations, when poorly managed, can easily lead to flare tempers and violence. We don't want that. Yes, we don't want that. That's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you today. So how can you and I make sure that first we recognize when the conversation is becoming difficult? Typically, there are a lot of disagreements, different point of view. People, as you very well know, we all see things differently, right? So you might think the best way forward is A, B, C. Another person might think is D, E, F. Another person might think is A, D, F. Someone might even think, no, it's F, B, A. You know what I mean? So something. And you feel stifled when you cannot even say your own point of view. And sometimes you start reading the body language. You see, and that just makes the conversation more difficult. So we don't want to get to a point where emotional tension is making our emotions take over. You know what I mean? Instead of using your frontal cortex, the thinking and the executive part of your brain to reason and figure out things, you're just being emotional. It's just an emotional reaction, to whatever is going on. And when that happens, typically what you want to do is you just want to get yourself out of that pressure, out of that emotional challenge. And this could be dangerous. Once conversations get to that level, anything can happen when emotions flare up, no matter where, whether it's in the house, whether it's in the office, whether it's when you're driving, road rage. All these things are all part of, things not going quite the way we want. So how can we form the habits that will help us, manage difficult conversations? The first step you need to take is to say little. Okay, I said stay little, but I wanted to say little. Say little, right? Don't say much. Sometimes that's your best bet, because you know what? When you start speaking, then someone is going to quote you, or someone is going to react to what you said. I guarantee you this doesn't solve the whole problem, because some people are going to say you said nothing. This terrible thing happened and you said nothing. It could be in the family. Someone could say, hey, your brother-in-law or your brother came here and he did this XYZ, and you said nothing. You're a terrible person. You're a terrible brother, you're a terrible sister, you're a terrible husband. You could get that. Or it could be the other way around. Your wife's sister comes in and does something, and you accuse her of saying nothing. Or it could just be a friend. These are all situations in which we are forced to deal with, difficult conversations. So the advantage, of, as my saying that you should say little, is that as much as possible, avoid getting into it with people that want a verbal fight with you or confrontation. You can always tell when someone is itching to do something, right? Someone is itching to make a point. You can tell. The last thing you want to do is enable that person by what you say and by what you do. Don't do that. Don't enable that person by what you say or by what you do. Okay? Just don't do that. It's not going to end well. So wherever or whenever confrontations arise from difficult conversations, things can quickly, spiral into serious disagreements, or in some cases, physical violence or even deadly violence. So by saying little, it's like you're preventing an emotional explosion from occurring. Indirectly too, when you say little, know that you might get a lot of the blame. You might get criticized, But if you are being strategic, if you say to yourself, hey, okay, it's either I speak out, say exactly how I feel, and we get into a confrontation or a conflagration, I'd rather, hey, just hold my peace, take the heat, being blamed and all that, or wait till things settle and then you can speak, right? Yeah. After the storm, what comes the rain, right? And everybody just calms down. Find a different time if the body language and everything else works. But by not speaking, you help to diffuse tension. Form that habit. It's going to help you. It's going to hold you in good stead. Okay, form that habit. Use that as one of the habits you can use, for dealing with difficult conversations. The second one I would recommend is to form the habit of being assertive. So if you find out that you need to speak, be assertive. Don't allow yourself to be bullied by others. Make your points clearly as you can, without raising your voice, and don't get into a back and forth. Make your point. If someone is pushing back and is not even listening to you, well, don't waste your time, because even if you talk, that person is not going to listen. What you're going to get is people repeating what they already said, Yeah. Are you going to argue with someone who says that 1 + 1 is 3? Are you going to argue with someone who says that 3 times, 0 is 3? Are you going to argue with someone who says that? You can try and explain, but if the person is not going to listen, what do? You have a problem, right? Then you say to yourself, how can I help this person? How can I help this person to see things differently? So don't yell back when the emotional tension begins to build up during difficult conversations. Don't yell back. Form assertive habits that will help you speak, with your ears. What does that mean, speaking with your ears? It means you listen. You do more listening than speaking. Okay? This will, to always aim to listen more than you speak. If you're fond of speaking without listening, then that means you don't really value the other person. You don't value their opinions. You don't value their thoughts, or you're looking down on them. You think they have nothing to offer. So why waste my time listening to that person? That's not really the message we want to send to another person, right? We want to value them, and we want to empower them. We want to encourage them to be self-confident. So you have to listen. Okay, so form the habit of listening. That's what I mean by speaking with your ears. The third option is to walk away. When you've tried to say little and it's being piled on, you've tried to listen more than you speak and it's still not working, I recommend it's time to walk away. Okay, that's when you've tried to be assertive. Yes, it's walk away, because you know what? Hey, he who lives and fights, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you should be a coward, but I'm saying you should be strategic. You should learn when it is useful to continue and when it's useful not to. If you assess the situation and you see that tempers are getting to the boiling point, make a strategic decision to either pour cold water on the boiling water or simply walk away. Yeah, diffuse the tension. Sometimes it means agreeing with what you don't agree with. It's just strategic. Opinions are not facts. Yes, but be authentic. That's the key. You have to be authentic to yourself. If not, people are going to see you as a fraud, and that's not going to work. But you can walk away. Walking away will help to put the emotions in check. Because it's really hard for someone to fight himself or herself, right? There's always someone else involved when there's a fight, whether it's verbal or whether it's physical. However way, there has to be some interaction. If you're not there, well, hey, something it's going to diffuse the tension. So the more you develop self-mastery and these self-mastery habits, the more you will gain a better understanding of yourself, your motivations, and your challenges. That's what I have to say. These three things, okay? 3 habits. Say little, not stay little. Say little, okay? That's 1. Listen with your ears. Speak with your ears, okay? That is, be assertive, Find out where someone is coming from. What is this person's meta communication? What is ruffling this person? Sometimes it's just a general perception of yourself. So no matter what you say, someone is just going to be mad. Someone is going to see something wrong with it, Keep that in mind. And then the third thing is walk away. Don't stay to get into it. Don't stay to argue and prove the other person wrong. When you prove people wrong, they don't feel better. You've hurt them emotionally. You've hurt their sense of self. You've hurt their pride. Hurt begets hurt. They're going to counter attack. It could be verbal. It could be physical. It could be emotional blackmail. So many things. When people hurt or feel that you hurt them, they're going to hurt you back. So be strategic. Think. And then act. Okay. Hey, if you're getting this through YouTube, know what you need to do? Subscribe. So you can know when next I have to share some of these self-mastery habit videos with you, or when I'm just sharing something, simply something health related, in the Dollar Compass Academy. And you can also learn more about self-awareness, self-regulation, and relentless wellness by signing up for my training, for the Dollar Compass Academy Self-Mastery 30-Day Challenge. Yeah, that training is going to help you give yourself 30 days for self-mastery transformation.